What's poppin', what's poppin', what's poppington? So in today's video, I decided to sit down and talk to you about how it feels to be finishing a master's program online. I just got off of YouTube Live with you guys, and I literally started crying while talking to you guys about it because I just feel extremely overwhelmed, and I don't even know where to start. There's just been so much that's been going on in these past couple of weeks, and everybody's been dealing with it differently, and it's just been really hitting me hard. So I just wanted to explain it and break it down for you guys, especially because for the past couple of weeks I've been posting old videos and old vlogs. You guys don't know how I feel currently up to date right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and update you guys on it, and then after this we can move on into all of my quarantine content. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Brelynn. I'm a Master of Physiology student here at North Carolina State University. Make sure you are subscribed before you leave and ring the bell that way you don't miss a notification from me, and follow me on my social media at Brelynn Barbie. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. There was an extra week of spring break. So you guys saw, I was really excited, but a little bit stressed out with the idea of me being able to go to Atlanta and Miami for my spring break. So I was excited because I needed the break. I was so overworked, but with graduate school, it's always on the go. There's a million assignments. I knew that I didn't really have time to not focus on my academics, even for a few days or a few weeks. And let me just say that I am so grateful for any and all of you who hopped on my YouTube Live. For me, it was just a few minutes ago, but for you guys, it's been a few days because I was in horrible spirits up until that point. Like, I really needed to talk to somebody, and I'm so glad that like you guys were there to talk to me during that time, because my energy and my mood would have been completely off, but y'all really like just uplifted me in a way where I really needed it. So first of all, thank y'all for that. But anyway, getting back to it. So I was already stressed out going into spring break, and I honestly was praying to God, like, God, I need a break, like this is too much. When watching my Atlanta vlog, you could really see how quickly things changed in such a short amount of time, because for some people, they were watching the vlogs and they were just like, why would you go to Atlanta? Why would you go to Miami? There was maybe one school that had been canceled at the time, and it was Harvard. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't know the last time that Spelman or NC State University did anything that Harvard did. Like, I did not think that that was something that was particular to the entire country, to all universities, to the entire world. I knew that it was an epidemic going on. I knew that it was really big in China, but the speed and the way that the traction built up in literally a matter of days, literally that entire week of spring break. On my way to Atlanta, everything was fine. When I get to Atlanta, I get an extra week of spring break. We get to Miami, things are pretty weird. Things are closed down, you're not allowed on the beach, and it's like, okay, this is gonna be a big deal. We should probably go home. And on my way home from Atlanta to North Carolina, that's when people finally started talking about social distancing, and that was people's first week in quarantine. I specifically remember being in the Versace mansion, like, we're young, we're girls, and we're black. Like, we're literally to this disease. We now know that black and brown people definitely can get it, and we could possibly be at a disproportionate rate. I just say all of that to say that things changed so quickly and unexpectedly for everybody, and I know that I've been the kind of person where I have really been going to YouTube and TV shows to take my mind off of what's been going on in the world, because the news and everything is just, it's scary and it's heavy, and I'm paying attention and I'm being cautious, but it's everywhere at all times, and I don't want my channel to be like that. And so I'm glad that I was kind of behind my videos, that way you guys were able to watch me in Miami during spring break while we're all like stuck at home social distancing. But I did have to make this video, one, so that you guys knew, like, hey, I am aware of like what's going on in the world. I'm not just pretending like the world's not mid-pandemic, but I am glad that I was able to be a positive outlet during this time. And now that we kind of have to get back to reality, I just wanted to check in and let you guys know how I feel about the situation, how everything played out on my end, because you weren't able to fully keeping up with me real time. And again, that's all my fault, just because I got behind on my editing. So starting back with receiving the news of getting an extra week of spring break, seems like it would be great, but in all honesty, that just smushed all of the end of the year assignments from like 5 weeks to 4 weeks, or whatever the time difference is. It just made it worse, and it made it very stressful. There is so much to get done, but now in a less amount of time. So now it feels like there's not enough hours in the day to accomplish all of the things that I need to without getting behind, and it just feels even more stressful. On top of it all, it's easier to get distracted, and I personally have lost motivation. And if you lose motivation for just 1 hour, or God forbid, one full day, it's like I immediately regret it. And I feel the difference in my schoolwork, and obviously you will see the difference in your schoolwork. In 1 week alone, I've had 4 quizzes, an exam, and a paper. It's just too much squished down into one. So now I find myself battling anxiousness, restlessness, shame, and guilt, and like this capitalistic mindset of overworking myself in the name of just being productive. First of all, I need to say I'm blessed because I haven't personally been affected by this pandemic. My health is fine, the health of my family and all of my friends are fine, and I'm also able to complete my degree. So first and foremost, I don't want to seem like I'm completely complaining. I know this is tough and it's hard on everybody, but it's specifically hard for, of course, the frontliners and the people who have lost people during this pandemic. So I don't want to come off insensitive as if I don't know that literally people are dying. I understand that. I'm just telling you guys like my experience with everything. Also on this grateful train, I just want to reiterate how God was looking out for me. Like I said it a little bit in a previous vlog, but there was just so much going on that like just end up working out in my behalf without me even knowing like what was gonna occur. Like I mentioned before, ended up going grocery shopping right before I left for spring break. And so while I was in Miami and people were going crazy off of toilet paper and groceries, I already had a freezer stocked full with groceries and had a fresh new roll of toilet paper and toilet tissue. And as you guys saw, I got braids done right before spring break. I don't know if you guys saw this hilarious meme on Twitter, but it was like, this is the girls who got braids right before we had to go into quarantine. How does it feel to be God's favorite? And that is just so funny to me. And also, again, it just brings into reality, like I didn't know that we were going to be in quarantine. I thought that I was going to be wearing these braids, you know, for the second half of the semester. And this really is the best hairstyle to have during self-isolation because nobody's seeing you. You know, you can still like touch your scalp, but like you don't have to have a wig on, and you're not like looking crazy with like a puff ball or like with gel in your hair every day. Like it's perfect timing. And I didn't even know. So God was looking out between groceries, toilet paper, everything. He's looking out, and I'm very, very grateful and aware of how much he was looking out for me. As you guys know, I live alone. I still don't have a roommate. I have not had a roommate this entire semester, or this entire year rather, and it's been quite crazy. Like now I get to have this whole space to myself, because if I would have had a roommate, you know, it would have been a little bit awkward to have to literally stay in the same space with your roommate the entire time, the kitchen, the living room, but like I'm spread out. Like I am all over my apartment. I have my room, I have the kitchen, I'm all spread out on the kitchen table, I'm in the living room, I have like my little gym set up. Like I have taken every inch of this apartment to be my space. And even though sometimes I'm a little stir crazy because I'm only in this space, at least I'm not like only in this room, because that would be even worse. So again, just grateful for the things that I do have during this time. So yeah, I'm grateful to have this space. I'm grateful to still have my North Carolina apartment. And that brings me into something that we did talk about on the YouTube live, is that as you guys can see, I'm still here in North Carolina. I thought that I was gonna be able to come back to my North Carolina community to go through this pandemic with, but you know, by the time I got back here, churches were closed. You guys know how close I was to my church family and how important that was to me. And so I was heart-wrenched when I was like, I couldn't go back to church and my grad school friends, and I was really, I don't know, it just hit me differently. I don't know how everybody else is feeling, but like to be here in this space, and I was finally like finding where I felt and could receive and give love, and now I'm just like, I'm only here for the worst part of North Carolina, which is the schooling part. I had my routine set. I was going to the gym. I had my church friends. I had my graduate school friends who we would study for exams with. And now I have to do everything alone here. Only thing that I'm allowed to do is go to school, which is the one thing that I did not like about this place. Like, it sucks. It sucks that my North Carolina community feels like they're no longer available to me, but I'm still in this space. It feels like I've started back from ground zero. Like just the other week, my whole family, like all of my cousins, were able to get together in Maryland. And I mean, I was so upset at them because I'm like, hello, you're not supposed to gather in groups. Even if they are your family, it's supposed to be like your household family. But my sister came into town, both my cousins who play basketball overseas, they both came back, and so literally all of my cousins were home except for me. So that kind of sucked that I had to like miss out on that. And I'm like, you know, being here in North Carolina, and again, I touched on this, I don't want to go into too much detail, but just a brief over why I decided to stay here in North Carolina and not go back home. It's because, one, I pay rent. Like, I have this whole space to myself. I figured at the time, I thought it would be best for me to stay in North Carolina because I would be around my North Carolina community, like my graduate school friends, and it would keep me in this mindset of being in grad school. Like at the time, I thought that I would still be able to go to coffee shops and study with my friends, just not be able to go to class. But now, like when I got here, my graduate school friends, they all went home. So even if I wanted to meet up with people, I can't. And anyway, the reason why I stayed here is, again, to keep my mindset focused on here. I'm paying rent here, and these are the last few months where I'm gonna have my own space. When I graduate and move back home to Maryland, which, by the way, you guys completely misinterpreted my Atlanta vlog. I'm not moving to Atlanta after graduation. I'm moving back to Maryland, but I won't be able to live alone. I won't be living at my mom's house either. Thank God, because I'm 23 years old. I'll be 24, and for me, from living by myself now for the past 4 years, my last 2 years in undergrad, 2 years now in graduate school, and even like, you know, in college, and then to coming back and living at my mom's house, as a first generation college student, one, she wouldn't have understood me being home, having to do work, having to, you know, be focused, and you know, she still would be yelling at me to do the dishes. And I'm like, sis, I got an exam right now. Like, she just wouldn't quite get it. It's all love, but she just wouldn't get it. You know, it's just better off if I don't live underneath my mom's home, if I'm not like home on vacation. Yeah, I decided to stay here in North Carolina, but it is very, very lonely. I feel like nobody's answering my phone calls. Like, you think that I'd be on FaceTime with people all day, but I guess everybody is kind of just like doing their own thing during quarantine or self-isolation, that, you know, nobody, at least a lot of people haven't quite like reached out to me. So I definitely feel like very lonely out here, which is really like weighing on me. That's why, again, the live was like, so I keep talking about the live because y'all loved it. I was on there for like 2.5 hours, and I think that I'm gonna do one maybe like once a week, maybe every Saturday, maybe on YouTube, maybe on Instagram. I really like the YouTube one. The YouTube one stayed lit the whole time. Anyway, yeah, I lost my train of thought. Next thing, that I am still able to see my therapist. I'm able to like Zoom conference her, and that's been good. I mean, would it sucked if I had to quit cold turkey, because y'all know I love my girl, I love her, but you know, it's getting real where it's like I'm gonna have to like slowly start to find a therapist in Maryland, because in a couple of weeks I'll no longer be a student and I already can't sit here in person. So, you know, it's a sad and abrupt change, but at least it's better than just like an abrupt stop. Similarly, I'm really glad that I stayed for an extra couple of days in Atlanta when I got back from Miami, because I was able to hang out with Kaka and just see all my sisters and my friends and stuff before I got back here. And literally, like, that was the last time that I hugged somebody, like interacted with somebody, like laughed like with people. And it's really crazy because it's like I kind of knew at the time, like on my way back, I knew this is gonna be the last time that I hang out with somebody for a while now. But now that I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, that was the last time I hung out with like my friends. When I finally heard the words, okay, you need to be self-isolating in your own home, I went back to North Carolina, and I've been here for 2.5 weeks straight, have not left except for one time to ride my bike outside and go grocery shopping. And it's hard, it's miserable, it's torture. And so to watch other people on social media hanging out with friends like it's still normal, it's like, y'all didn't come here to listen to a rant, but that's just how I feel about the situation. I'm like, I wish people would just get it together, because it's really not fair to those who are listening to the rules, because it's not fun for anybody, but we all have to be in this even longer for the people who don't want to listen. Anyway, overall, in the beginning, I didn't quite mind the isolation part, because I mean, I'm cool with just like staying inside. Like, I I miss like being able, I guess, the freedom to like go to fast food restaurants, and it would be nice because like day party brunch season and things like that. But overall, like being home all the time isn't that bad. It's just the fact that I'm like here by myself that makes it the worst part, like the actual social distancing part, because I'm an extrovert and I found myself, like, again, before I went on live, at an all-time low state. Like I just felt like my people meter was so low because I had not talked to a person in so long, and my Zoom conference calls with the professors isn't cutting it for me. And that's really what the hardest part of this social distancing is for me. The changes that it's making to my graduate program has just given me so much stress. It's honestly preventing me from being able to be calm during this crisis. I really believe that like if this was post-grad and I was on paid leave and I could just work from home or not even have to work, and if I could just sit in the house all day and watch Netflix and have to cook, I would be fine. I would be okay, especially if I was home in Maryland, and even if they weren't at my house, but I knew they were close enough, I'd be okay. But like, I'm here in North Carolina alone, and I still have to, like, I want to just like lay on the bed and be like, what is going on in the world? But I have to get up every day and like try and have a routine. That way I can try and do my work and be productive, because I'm so close to finishing. And it's like, if I allow myself to fall behind on my work at this very end, I will forever regret it. But I am like holding on by a thread, y'all. Like, I don't know how other people are doing it, but like I said, I just can only speak for me, and it's hitting me hard. Like without any family, without any community, without any routine, without people, it's really, really hard for me. It's also really hard for me to apply for post-grad jobs at the moment. And with that could possibly come anxiousness, but I know that anxiousness comes from fear of the future. And so I'm just allowing myself to try and stay in the moment, and again, be grateful for what I have here today, and at the moment just not worry about the future. Something that's like in the back of my mind, but I'm not allowing it to be in the forefront because I have enough things to worry about. I'm leaving it up to God when the right job comes. I'm still applying for jobs in Maryland. You guys know I'm trying to transition into clinical work for the next year while I'm studying for the MCAT. Y'all still asking me. The plan's been the same. I've said it on my channel, but y'all still ask me. So just for clarification, my plan is to take the MCAT in the fall of 2020 and then apply during the 2021 cycle. So literally like the end of May, June 2021, I should be applying. So I have a couple of years where I want to be working, and during this time I want to be living in Maryland. But until the right job comes along, giving it to God. Speaking of the clinical transition that I will be making in a few months, my content is really about to change, and I'm brainstorming right now exactly how I want it to be, because I honestly feel like I want my channel to be something that I don't see. Like, I don't see anybody out there with a similar channel to how I want my channel to be. But first of all, right now Instagram is popping. Okay, I've been loving watching people on Instagram live. It's taking a lot of my time out of my day, and I feel like it's the same for you guys. You guys agreed again on the YouTube live, and also some of y'all were in there with me for all 2.5 hours. It's like we're literally wasting our time, not wasting it, but we're spending a lot of our day on Instagram live, just trying to connect with people. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of lives. It's been taking up a lot of my time, which is troublesome to what I was talking about earlier, as far as like I need to be focused with school right now. But again, that's just my only way of kind of interacting with people. And it's also, I feel like, really weird to post content. As I mentioned, it was frustrating to receive some ignorant comments from people when I was posting previous vlogs, even though I would put the date in the videos and tell you guys like these videos are old, these videos are dated. Even if I filmed this video a week ago, the information that is going on this week is completely different than last week, which is completely different from that week and I was like a month behind. So I'm literally uploading videos, and in the vlogs everything is fine, and literally now we're in a world pandemic. Now that I'm finally up to date, after this you guys are gonna see real-time vlogs. It's gonna be like, I don't want my videos to be down and depressing, but I want them to be realistic. I want them to be where I can look back and be like, yeah, well, that's how I was feeling during that time. but nobody wants to watch a video. Like, again, I've been enjoying watching people's videos during this time when it's not all about the pandemic, because again, I'm suffocated by it. So right now, currently, especially on Instagram, I just don't know what to post. But especially in my upcoming videos, like, it's so crazy to think that my vlogs will never be the same. Like, when I made that video and I was like, this is gonna be my last campus vlog, and I didn't even know it. I literally just filmed the video like, oh yeah, it's gonna be, you know, I'm gonna do a grad school vlog, I'm gonna get my hair done later, so let me film today. Like, and there was a time after that that I could have vlogged, but I was like, nah, I'll vlog when I get back from spring break. And I didn't even know that that'd be my last time vlogging. It's sad. It's definitely gonna take a lot of creativity for me, because all the vlogs for the next couple of months will be from my apartment, like from this house, until I graduate. And it sucks because like I won't be able to do like a graduation vlog. You guys have been asking me about that. I don't have any details on my graduation as of right now. I don't think I went into detail. I should have mentioned this before, but just for logistics, we had an extra week of spring break, and now we are taking all of our classes online. They also have the gym classes online now. Well, really they only have like HIIT and yoga and Pilates, but I guess it's better than nothing. So I have all my classes online now, and everybody has to be off campus. They have postponed graduation, but they haven't said when the date is. So I don't know yet. As soon as I know, I will let you guys know. But at least for me, I feel like I'm really ready to move on to the next, you know, stage of my life. So if they don't call us back for graduation by like August 31st, I don't know if I'm gonna come back. Like, I can't see myself coming back in December to walk. At that point, it's like, okay, like I'm over it. I'm done. And I mentioned this in that vlog, and I just want to reiterate it here in case you guys didn't see that vlog. But again, I'm just grateful that even though I can relate to a lot of you guys, like, y'all know I've worked hard for this master's degree. I have been through hell and high waters for this degree, and I was really gonna be so proud of myself to walk across that stage. But walk across that stage or not, I'm still gonna be proud of myself. So I can definitely relate to all of my transitioning babies, my 2020 transitioning babies. So if you're leaving high school, if you're leaving college, if you're leaving your master's, PhD, dissertation, residency, I feel for all of y'all. I really, truly do. And I'm so sorry that we have to go through this. For me personally, again, I'm just trying to find the silver lining in all of this. Like I mentioned before, this is not my first graduation, and it's not gonna be my last. And I loved my Spelman graduation. I'm so sorry for all my Spelman sisters who won't be able to get that full Spelman experience, at least like not as they normally would have. And I would not want to be graduating medical school right now and not being able to have my big match ceremony to figure out what residency program I'm going into with my friends and family. Like, if anything, this master's program, if I had to choose one of the three, this is the one that I would choose for this to happen during. So I'm not happy about it, but like, if I had to choose, I guess I would choose this one. So it's not my first graduation, and it won't be my last, so it's okay that it's not gonna happen. Yeah, like I said, once I graduate, or once I'm done with my credits, it's gonna suck because there won't be like this big grand ending to this chapter of my life before we move into the next one. I feel like for the next couple of months, it's all gonna feel like the same thing. And so again, I'm just trying to brainstorm exactly what I want my content to be like, what I want my channel to look like, because I believe it will be pretty different. Let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see from me if they are no longer campus vlogs, because technically I'm no longer going to be a college vlogger, not going to be a grad school vlogger. I'm going to be a regular girl with a regular job living in our hometown, still pre-med, but I don't want to make every video about pre-med, because although that'll be a big goal of my life, it won't be the only thing I'm focusing on. I want to be able to share more with you guys than just my academic journey, and I want people to tune into my content even if it's not just about my pre-med journey. Until then, I will be doing some day in the life vlogs with this as my new normal, just to give you guys a little bit of like update as to how each of my professors are handling this. Every professor is different. I don't feel like any professor made it easier, which I personally feel offended by. But my physiology professor, she made the online exam harder. We took her exam the first day we got back from spring break. She made it harder. She didn't push back any deadlines. Everything was still due the same time. And now we just have less time to get through the same amount of lectures. She also made the exam percentages more for these final two exams than the regular 2 that we took before we went on break, which I feel like is unfair because the average went down from the first exam, from the normal exams that we took in class to the one that we took online. And I believe it's because she made it that much harder to make sure that we wouldn't cheat or to compensate for people who would cheat. So yeah, that's that class. In my pathophysiology class, same thing. She didn't change any of the deadlines. The main thing is that we had a paper due in that class, and we also had a presentation due in that class. And for the rest of the semester, we were basically just gonna watch people's presentations. And I was the first person up for presentation. So I actually had both of those due 2 weeks back to back. And instead of like giving the presentation in class, I just had to send her my PowerPoint, and in the notes I had to write down everything that I would have said, and that's already out. So I'm technically done with that class for the semester, but at the time, still trying to get in the groove of my schedule, and again, everything just feeling so condensed. It was like paper this week, presentation this week, and one was like 25% of my grade and the other one's 15%. So yeah, it was a lot of pressure, but I'm technically done with that class for this semester. So that's my pathophysiology class. My endocrinology class has moved to being a reading only class. Never heard of this. This is my very, very, very old professor, and he's like, back in my day for graduate school, we had a lot of reading classes where you would just get the books and you would come in and you would take the exam. So same thing, we're taking all of our exams and quizzes online. He added a few more quizzes, like one every week, to make sure that we're staying on top of the reading. But not only do we have to read his PowerPoint, which, you guys, I kid you not, his PowerPoint slides have 150 slides in them, and each slide sometimes have up to like 200 words on them. And he wants us to read those in addition to reading the book in order to take the quizzes and the exams. So I'm like, it was already annoying enough to have to sit and listen to you talk for an hour, but now I have to like try and read what you would say. It doesn't make it any better. So that's my endocrinology class. And then I'm taking that online milk lactation class. That one, it's not that much harder. The only thing is that during spring break, he was like, it's an online class, I'm not changing the dates. Like, you still need to turn in your stuff. You still need to have your stuff in by these dates. I'm not switching the syllabus around. Whereas every other class sent out a new syllabus. My biochem class is one of the worst ones because, God bless her soul, my professor is she's just a very frantic, disorganized kind of person. She tried to like make a schedule, but she doesn't know how to do a calendar the right way, and she has it to where we only have to come to class or like watch the Zoom lecture on Fridays. We normally have a class Monday, Wednesday, Friday. She records Mondays and Wednesdays, so we can watch it anytime, but we have to be there on Fridays, and we take a quiz every Friday. And we have our first like online exam next week in that class. And I didn't mention that my physiology class, we still have regular Zoom class Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I really only have to physically like be there Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, but there's so much outside work and readings and things that I have to do that I still find myself like I have a lot of work to do every single day. So that is the update of how like my school life is going, but you guys will see that in action in the upcoming vlogs. Just want to give you guys a brief overview of everything. So overall, like I said, I feel overwhelmed, I feel lonely, I feel sad, I feel grateful, I feel healthy. I'm overwhelmed with a variety of emotions, but I hope that you guys are happy and healthy and remaining sane during this time. Hope that you guys are truly practicing social distancing and that all of your loved ones are taken care of. Again, I look forward to documenting and sharing with you guys how my life is the next couple of months, because I mean, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be very different for a lot of us, so I can't wait to share with you guys. Make sure you live each day to the fullest because you only live once. See you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. 1, 2, 3.